Hello.
Then. Now.
Countdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
Forever.
Looks like hell throws over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, and welcome to episode number 98, yes, of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We're here for SmackDown for January 24th, 2025 even. And yeah, we're 8 days away from the Royal Rumble. And tonight we have 2 championship matches set. We have a United States Championship match between Ricochet and Bronson Reed. And we have a WWE Tag Team Championship match between the Mercedes Machine Guns and Chase U. And a whole lot more. So yeah, without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We kick off the show with a video recap of what happened at the end of the show last week, with Kairi getting a taken out one by Queendom Omega. And yeah, we start the show. Io and Asuka storm to the ring. They don't get their music played or anything. They just storm out together, microphones in hand, and they just get in the ring and they start screaming in Japanese. We don't get Cammy out here to translate them. It's just like you're not supposed to know what they're saying, but you get the gist of what they're saying and why they're angry. Like, we don't have to beat you over the head with that. But they just come out, they start screaming in Japanese, calling for Queendom Omega to come out here and fight them right now. And their music does hit, but it's just Yoko and Saya who come out without Cammy, Utami, the Megasis, and Julia. And they come out on the stage and they start shouting back at Io. Mainly Saya specifically, because she's the little rat, she's the little scrappy doo. So she's the one ready for the fight. And she starts shouting back at Io shouts back at her, Asuka shouts back at her, Yoko does eventually start shouting back as well. We just get all 4 women shouting at each other in Japanese. The crowd doesn't know what they're saying, but they're hyped, they're hot and rising, so they're getting into it. And then Adam Pearce up there goes, "Enough, ladies, enough. Now listen, I know I don't have Cammy or anyone else here to translate exactly what you're saying, but I think I get the idea of what we're doing here, ladies. So, you two," pointing at Io and Asuka, "you two want to get revenge on what happened to Kairi last week here on SmackDown. You two want to defend the honor of the Megasis and of Utami and of Julia. Well, since you're apparently the only 2 members of Queendom Omega here tonight, for whatever reason, and you two want to get your hands on Queendom Omega so bad, and Kairi's not here after what happened last week, well, I say, why don't we make it official? Tonight, a tag team main event. Yoko and Saya of Queendom Omega will team up to face Io Sky and Asuka. Have a great night, ladies. Try not to rip each other's heads off." So yeah, very short and simple opening segment to set up our main event tonight, which is Io teaming with Asuka for the first time since maybe, unless they teamed in just these 2. I don't mean in general, because they're on the same Survivor Series team and shit. Just a 2-on-2 tag team match with these 2. I think it might be the first time since ever, because Asuka joined Queendom after the Ides of March last year. And then after WrestleMania, Io went away, so they didn't really have much time together. Unless maybe they teamed the week after Asuka came back. But anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, Io and Asuka teaming up in our main event, 2-on-2 against Saya Kamatani and Yoko Uehara of Queendom Omega. That's Saya's new gimmick, sure, yeah. Can't remember what the issue was with her. Something was the matter with her where I had to give her a new gimmick. It wasn't the rating. Oh, I think it might be, it was a cool momentum. So yes, now she's got a better gimmick. A new gimmick should give her some new momentum. Boost psychology is good. Extremely Markable is good. Sure, yeah. And then come back to Nick Aldis, who's in the GM's office. And he goes, boys, I'm sure you're wondering why I gathered all four of you in here today. It's Carmelo Hayes, Chris Jericho, Johnny Gargano, and Grayson Waller. He goes, as you know, the Royal Rumble is upon us, the most exciting period of the WWE calendar. The road to WrestleMania is set to begin soon. You know, a star-studded lineup for this year's field, including John Cena, Roman Reigns, Gunther, Daniel Bryan, and a whole lot more. So with only 30 spots and 3 brands here in WWE, plus, you know, potential appearances from NXT and outside of WWE, spots are being filled quickly when it comes to SmackDown's portion of the Royal Rumble. That's why I want to give all of you an opportunity to qualify for the Royal Rumble, but only one of you will get to be in the Royal Rumble. So tonight, we're going to put some Royal Rumble stakes on the line. We're going to have a big fatal 4-way match. All 4 of you will face off in a fatal 4-way match. The winner goes to the Royal Rumble, and the losers, well, they're out. Mello just laughs. He goes, easy time, Nick. I see what you're doing here. Okay? You don't have to worry about all these jokes. I know you want an excuse not to put Grayson Waller and Chris Jericho in the match, because I wouldn't want them in the match either. Johnny, no hard feelings, but it's my time. I don't miss, and this opportunity, it comes around once a year, and I'm going to shoot, and I'm going to grab it by the horns, and at WrestleMania, you will be calling me a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. 75-rated opening match. Yeah, for these two teams, that's pretty good, actually. But mostly Machine Guns do defeat Chase U in 1341, Shelley pinning Andre Chase with a Made in Detroit to make defense number 1 of the Tag Team Championships. It's actually 2, isn't it? Because I think they might have defended on last week's show. No, they definitely had a rematch with Pretty Deadly sometime. Anyway, doesn't matter. 58 for Sabin, 69 for Shelley, 66 for Duke, 69 for Andre Chase. And yeah, after the match, Shelley and Sabin celebrate. Andre Chase gets to his feet, Duke Hudson gets his feet. They shake hands. Respect between the two teams, the two babyface teams. You know, the Machine Guns, putting over the University Boys for their great effort here tonight. And then we follow Andre Chase and Duke to the back where Thea Hale greets them. She goes, man, you did great out that night. I really thought you were going to bring those championships home to Andre Chase University. And he goes, things happen for you, you know. Next time. But we just got our university back. We're just finding our feet back here in WWE. Next time, we're going to get those championships. There he goes, I believe in you, Mr. Chase. I didn't give up on you after all that time in the learning tree. I'm not going to start now. That's when they're jumped by Pretty Deadly and Tonya Breeze, you know. Tonya attacking Thea, Pretty Deadly attacking Andre Chase and Duke. And they go, you got your shot at those championships before us. Okay, don't make us laugh. You're never, ever going to sniff those tag team championships, okay? They belong to us. They probably still have our scent on them because nobody else who's held those championships smells anywhere near as good as we do. So they can't get that great scent off, apart from maybe, of all people, Otis and Omos, but that's by the by. But yes, you're never going to touch our championships because they belong to us and we're next up. And then cut to Candice in her locker room, and then she's sat on her phone doing something when the door opens and Dakota Kai walks in. The first we've seen of her since Cyber Sunday, actually. Candice goes, hey, you're here. She goes, yeah, I got your text. Johnny said you wanted to speak to me about something. Candice goes, look, sit. She pulls up a chair. She goes, oh, I got you something as well. And she hands her, a commemorative SummerSlam chair to sit on. She goes, you remember that SummerSlam? That was the night you and I were both champions. You kept a hold of your world championship, I became Liberty champion. Short-lived period of time, but one of the greatest parts of my career, if I do say so. She goes, yeah, I guess. She goes, anyway. So I've been thinking the past few weeks, and I understand that tensions have got a bit hot around here recently, and it's because of that world championship. And obviously I understand you want to be the world champion. I want to be the world champion too. I also want to make sure that Queendom don't hold the championship. You want to make sure that Utami doesn't hold the world championship. I want to make sure that Io doesn't get the championship back. You want to... Anyway, the point is, we can't... Cooler heads prevail, forever. Okay, because, yeah, I never once doubted that we weren't still friends. It's just I need to take a couple of weeks off after Cyber Sunday. No, that loss really hit because, quite frankly, that felt like my shot. After Utami cashed in Money in the Bank, and she stole my moment in my home country, in my hometown, in front of my friends and my family, ruined what was the best moment of my career. The only thing that drove me and motivated me those months was to get my revenge on her and get my championship back and make her pay for that. And I failed to do that time and time again. And Cyber Sunday felt like my last shot at getting my championship back. And Candice goes, well, it's great to have you back here now because the Royal Rumble is coming up, and I can do you a solid there when I win the Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania once again. I can take that championship from Utami, and I can win it back for you. And Dakota's laughs. He goes, heh. Candice goes, what? What's funny? Candice goes, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. Candice goes, well, no, it must be something if you're gonna burst out laughing like that right in front of me. I just think it's funny how you say you're winning the Royal Rumble because last time I checked, I planned on being in it. And Candice goes, oh, I see. Well, no matter who it is, may the best woman win. She offers that a handshake. And Dakota Kai daps her up, secret handshake. And she goes, have I really got to carry this chair around for me all night? And Candice's like, well, if you want a heartfelt commemorative gift from your best friend that I spent weeks digging up out of my garage to give to you because it was such a special night of our career. If you want to just leave that here and throw it away, be my guest. But I fought really hard about giving it to you. And Dakota just laughs and goes, fine, I'll carry it. She goes, that a girl. And then Dakota leaves. Then see Daniel Bryan training. He's training with the usual suspects, the Creed brothers, Miles Bourne, Charlie Dempsey. They're actually doing Royal Rumble specific training. Dempsey's trying to toss him over the top rope. Bryan's clinging on. He's skinning the cat. He's practicing his Royal Rumble survival techniques. When Regal walks in, he goes, Brutus, Julius. He calls him over. They come over. He goes, what is it, Regal? He goes, I know this whole thing is about Daniel Bryan and Daniel Bryan's last career. Last end of his full-time career here in WWE, and what could be his last Royal Rumble, and I appreciate you being a good helping hand to get him prepared for that. But boys, the tag team division here on SmackDown is heating up recently. There's a lot of great tag teams here. You've got the Motor City Machine Guns, one of the greatest, most inspirational tag teams of this generation. You've got the Hurt Business, Chase University, Pretty Deadly, the Labyrinth, the Revolution. All of these teams and more who may yet to come back. It's time for you to get your names back out there because it's starting to feel like you're falling to the wayside. So I got you a nice little exhibition match tonight. Win that, get your name back out there, remind the world that the Creed brothers are still the future of this tag team division. They are still the future greatest tag team in WWE and future WWE tag team champions. And Brutus is there, just being his normal goofy self. And Julius sort of smacks him. He goes, you're right, Regal. We did need to get serious. We'll get it done tonight. So yeah. Creed brothers in action. Later on tonight. Fallon Henley against... fucking hell, 70? That's a lot better than I thought it would be. Fallon Henley against... Danny Luna, just a short little showcase match to get Fallon a win here on the show because I didn't want her to beat any of the other women I have because she's already beaten them a lot. Ayi, Shotzi, and Raquel mainly. 64 for Fallon, 60 for Danny Luna. So yeah, that's actually a pretty good rating for that match. But yeah, nice win for Fallon Henley, getting her momentum continue to roll. She's sort of taken the head role of Fatal Influence recently. So, yeah, get her a nice singles win. We then cut to Adam Pearce. He's in the GM's office now. And MVP goes, what I'm saying is, tonight in this United States Championship match, Ricochet's going to win back the United States Championship. And at the Royal Rumble, the almighty Bobby Lashley's going to make that Mad Dragon look like a clown. Make him wish he never stepped back up into singles business. And he goes, well, I look forward to it. And he goes, well, you saw how many people are out to get the Hurt Business. So, if we're going to stay behind here, okay, we want all of them. Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov, all of them, staying back here tonight. That's when Drew McIntyre storms into the office as well. He goes, out. He goes, pardon me, Mr. McIntyre. Myself and Adam Pearce are having a word. And he goes, get out. And he goes, good afternoon. Good evening to you, Adam Pearce. I've got to inform the almighty Bobby Lashley about some things. And he leaves. And he goes, yeah, that's what I thought. Pearce goes, well, we were in the middle of a conversation, Drew, so it better be important. And Drew goes, next Saturday, I'm winning the Royal Rumble. Pearce goes, so you've said. He goes, but next week on SmackDown, I want Jacob Fatu. Pearce goes, you want Jacob Fatu one-on-one on SmackDown 24 hours before you enter the Royal Rumble match? Drew goes, that's right. And Pearce goes, well, I don't think it's very wise to step to a Samoan werewolf just a day before you plan on winning the Royal Rumble, McIntyre. But if I do say so myself, that is an incredible match to add to my SmackDown lineup next week. So consider it official. Next week, Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, one-on-one here on SmackDown. And Drew just laughs and goes, perfect. That'll teach him for getting in my face. We then cut to Kayla Braxton backstage. Because they were my guests at this time. Shayna Baszler and Carmella, the Fierce and the Fabulous. And Kayla goes, Shayna, last week was an impressive week for you. And Shayna goes, enough, Kayla, I know where you're going here. Last week was impressive. The great Charlotte Flair put down by my boot. Okay. An incredible victory reminding the world who Shayna Baszler is, okay? I may have only been women's champion once, nearly 5 years ago now, but I've honed my craft in those years, and I'm still as dangerous as I could ever be. Whether it be in the tag team division, or whether it be as a singles competitor, when I need one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time in the face last week, and put her down. So, Kayla, what's next for Shayna Baszler? Isn't it obvious? I'm setting my sights on becoming the women's world champion. And then Saya and Yoko walk into frame. And they start, antagonizing Shayna. Shayna goes, you know I can't understand a word you're saying, right? I don't speak Japanese, I only speak 2 languages, English and breaking limbs. And, I know you can understand my English, so we'll save the second language for now. But it's just you 2 running around here tonight. This is the weakest I've ever seen Queendom look. No disrespect. But, you take this message from me to somebody who knows me very well. The current women's world champion, Utami Hayashishita. I'm coming for her. And when I come, this time, I'm getting it done. She walks away and Carmella just sits down and laughs and goes, huh? Yeah, she's coming for you. Your little world championship. What you gonna do about it? And she walks off. $83 rated 4-way. Sure, we'll take that. Just a match to get a match with some stakes on the show. Chris Jericho punches his ticket to the Royal Rumble. Carmelo Hayes is obviously the one who's about to win the match. He goes up for nothing but net, but Pete Dunne shoves him to the outside. Melo takes a bump on, face onto the announce table. And that allows Gargano to get up, and he eats a Judas effect. And Jericho is in. The other 3 are out. So Pete Dunne just cost Carmelo Hayes his spot in the Royal Rumble match here. How's that for a 5-minute world champion? 71 for Grayson Waller, 69 for Jericho, 82 for Gargano, 92 for Carmelo Hayes. So yeah, he's obviously, in terms of scoring, the right choice to be in the Rumble. It's just, I've got the Rumble match written out already, and Jericho fit to make the match more entertaining and better than it would just having Carmelo Hayes in there, to last half an hour before getting tossed out. So yeah, Jericho's in, other three are out. We then see Pat McAfee get into the ring, the ringside correspondent. He goes, Chris, congratulations, you picked up the win here tonight. You're going to the Royal Rumble. Jericho goes, hi Pat. Hi guys. Hi everyone. Did you know Pat McAfee, who the WWE superstar with the longest overall time in Royal Rumble matches is throughout the history of the Royal Rumble? Pat's like, well, it's you, Chris. I know it's you. He goes, you're damn right it is, Pat, because I'm the greatest of all time. The greatest Royal Rumble competitor to have never won a Royal Rumble match is me. Now, there's a lot of big names in the Royal Rumble this year. John Cena in his last Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan in what might be his last Royal Rumble. And Chris Jericho in what's his last attempt at not winning a Royal Rumble, because let me tell you this, I'm winning this year, and I'm finally going to have that Royal Rumble victory that's eluded me all my career. And this is a message for all of you in the back. Morgan, Kylan, Brad, Bodie, Zeta, Kaya. I told these people the learning tree was not dead after we lost to that damn university. I'm doing my part. Now it's time for you to do yours. Bye, guys. See you next Saturday. See you in LA. Angelo Dawkins video package. He goes, okay, so there's something that's been on my mind right now that I can't seem to get off my mind. Okay, when you're the Golden Prophet, you don't normally worry about things like this because, it's people who haven't got good intentions trying to bring you down when you're at the top of your game. But I'm hearing people saying I'm scared of Big Jacob Fatu. So that's not the case at all, and here's why. You see, sure, it may look like I bailed on a match against Big Jacob a couple of weeks ago, but what does wrestling and beating Jacob Fatu, which I would have done, do for me? Okay, I'm going to the Royal Rumble. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. I don't need to waste my energy wrestling Jacob Fatu. Okay? Now, Drew McIntyre, I hear he's challenging Jacob Fatu to a match next week, and more power to him, fam. But, he signed his own death wish by wrestling just 24 hours before the Royal Rumble. But, luckily for Drew, he knows he ain't winning that Rumble anyway, because he ain't the Golden Prophet. He ain't Angelo Dawkins. Because he ain't the one going to WrestleMania to finally become world champion. I am. And once I win that Royal Rumble and win that elusive world championship, there ain't nothing that Tez or anyone else can hold over my head anymore. We then see Carmelo Hayes, catch up to Pete Dunne backstage. He goes, hey, Petey, bet you thought you was real funny out there right now, huh? And Pete just sort of shrugs his shoulders and chuckles. He goes, it was quite amusing, yeah. I think it's ridiculous, Melo, that you're getting this opportunity to be in the Royal Rumble after, the way you've been walking around here, disrespecting me the last couple of weeks. I was disrespecting you. Okay, that's just how I am, okay? I walk the walk. Just because you can't talk the talk because you're a big, miserable Pete Dunne, I'm just going to snarl and break fingers. Doesn't mean that it ain't the way things are run around here, okay? If you want to sit back here, bitch and cry and hide behind your little friends, you can do that. But that ain't what Carmelo Hayes is. I take the shot, I fire the shot, and I never miss, okay? Until tonight, when I was going to be in that Royal Rumble, I was going to win that Royal Rumble, but now I won't because of your stupid ass. Pete goes, and what you gonna do about it, huh? And Melo goes, something. Maybe this. And he smacks Pete Dunne in the face. And they get into a brawl backstage. you know, refs and security and just backstage people trying to break him up. Nick Aldis rushes, he goes, again, you guys getting into this. Okay, I've had enough of this. So here's what we're going to do. Next week, one-on-one here on SmackDown, Pete Dunne, Carmelo Hayes. You know, let's run it back. Let's see if Carmelo's got what it takes to beat Pete when, you know, it's not a Money in the Bank cash-in, when it's a one-on-one face-to-face match between the two. We're going to see who really is the better man. Oh! A 94 rated United States Championship match. Let's go. Big Bronson Reed, you know, without the Hurt Business out there, without any of the ops. You know, the Hurt Business ops, not Samoa Joe and friends. Big Bronson does retain the US title in 15 minutes and 10 with a tsunami. 80 for Bronson Reed, 93 for Ricochet. So yeah, that puts a little stamp on this part of this United States Championship rivalry. And Ricochet, he was the first person to bring gold to the Hurt Business, but he's also now the first to lose gold in the Hurt Business, and to be at least temporarily shut away, I guess, because he's got to go to the back of the line now if he wants that championship back. After the match, here comes your standard Hurt Business attack, and Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn do run out and make the save, saving Big Bronson Reed from the attack, but, you know, they are outnumbered, so the Hurt Business do stand tall over Ilya and Bobby. Not Bobby, Ilya and Sammy and Bronson Reed. Yeah. Just get a quick update on Kyrie. You know, it's like, we see the recap of the attack last week. And the Doctor is on the screen. And he says, last week after the events of SmackDown, we took Kyrie in here in the hospital. And, we diagnosed her issues and, whatever Queendom Omega and they did to Kyrie, it sort of messed her up, and you know she's unable to travel to SmackDown tonight because of the damage to her neck that was done because of the attack with the steel chair last week. And because Kyrie is, I don't have an exact over, WWE-ism announced injury for what she has, but some neck strain, but big long word neck strain or whatever, and we don't know when she'll be back in the ring. It likely won't be anytime soon, so just keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and we wish her a speedy recovery. Then see Kofi Kingston by himself, sat backstage on a production truck, and then the Labyrinth walk up to him and go, "Hey Kofi, what's a WWE legend like you doing back here by yourself?" He goes, "Boys, how long have you been teaming together now?" And they're like, "About 3 years, give or take." And Kofi goes, "And you're friends, right? You're brothers?" They go, "Yeah, I consider us, best friends, or basically brothers." Kofi goes, "Yeah, this tag team, this brotherhood stuff, it gets real serious about times. Last week, I tried to warn him not to rush in and take the fight to Neville, and he did it. Now, don't get me wrong, I love E, and I know exactly what he was trying to do. He wanted to get revenge on Woods, because Woods is also our brother. But, I couldn't tell it to him without him thinking that I didn't want him to make the save for Woods, and it was too late after he did it, and now he's out of action too." I go, "Well, what I guess you need to do is, if you want to really put a stop to Neville and his chicanery, you should either wait till all of you are cleared, or can find a new friend who can help you take out Neville." Kofi goes, "Great. Boys, I've been watching your young careers here on SmackDown. One day you're going to be the tag team champions. I hope that for you, it's a hell of a lot easier of a ride than we've had." And they're like, "Yeah, great. See you around, Kof." And they walk off. Then the Miz walks into frame and he goes, "Is that those damn Labyrinth boys?" Kofi goes, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Kofi, what did they say to you? He goes, we were just talking about, friendships here in WWE. Which goes, oh, friendships, right. Okay, what, because you think I don't have any friends? Because I lost in a handicap match to them because my friend was out of town? You were laughing at me and saying that I had no friends because I do. I have a lot of friends, they just weren't available on the night. Kofi goes, no, actually, Miz, your name didn't come up at all. Not everything's about you. Miz goes, it wasn't? Kofi goes, nah, quite frankly, I don't think anybody around here has even thought of you since we last saw you on television. They probably won't think of you again until you leave. And Miz goes, oh, is that so? Well, last time I checked, Kofi, you also have no friends here on SmackDown, which means you're just like me. I mean, would be just like me if I had no friends, because I do have friends, and they're just not here right now. Then Kofi goes, great. Well, how about next week we see which one of us friendless losers can get the job done by himself here on SmackDown. And he walks off, and Miz goes, well, I didn't mean it like that, Kofi. How many times have you wrestled me over the years? You don't really want to do this again, right? But Kofi's off. So yeah, it appears Kofi Kingston and The Miz one-on-one next week on SmackDown. We then cut to Gorilla, where Kayla Braxton is with Morgan. There's Morgan Daniels, you've just got a match confirmed and set from Adam Pearce for coming up right now. How you're feeling heading into this match? Well, because you know how I'm feeling? We just saw Chris Jericho, one of the greatest of all time, in fact, punch his ticket to yet another Royal Rumble, a match that he's become the star of despite never winning in his career, and that's going to come to an end this year when he finally wins his first Royal Rumble. But it got us all in the learning tree thinking something, Kayla. There's nothing Chris Jericho can't do, which means there's nothing that we can't do either. You know why I'm in this learning tree in the first place? Because that damn university never cared for me. NXT never cared for me. I was always, handed tag team partners and friends. That's not me. They're holding who could be a future WWE Women's Champion and not letting me get to my full potential because I've got to keep hanging around and looking after the students and the weird exchange students. Helping accustom weird Japanese girls to this country. But enough is enough. Win, lose, or draw, tonight is the start of a new era. My era of the women's division here on SmackDown and all of WWE. So whoever is out there right now, bring your best, because you're going to need it. That opponent is Huzzah, the Queen Wu. And goes 10 minutes and 55. We let this get a little bit of time. We do let Morgan get a bit of spotlight here, because obviously Charlotte is a face now, I guess. Like she's at least intended to be. You probably still boo her because it's Charlotte, but yes. But in the end, she does manage to put Morgan down with an actual selection after a good fight. It gets an 82. 86 for Charlotte, 74 for Morgan. And after the match, Charlotte does take the mic. She goes, ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Daniels here. Maybe one day we'll be in the position to be a future WWE Women's Champion in this company, but that time's not right now. You gave me a good shot. I'll see you in a couple of months, and maybe I'll have it then. But as for me, what is being a future WWE Women's Champion in this company if it's not beating Charlotte Flair? Because last week, I lost to Shayna Baszler. Now Shayna, again, tough woman. One of the toughest women I've ever faced off with in this ring. But it was just another humbling defeat for me in a series of defeats that have become quite humbling for me. I'm Charlotte Flair. I don't lose. Especially not this often. But there's always a time to snap your losing streak around. And I can't think of a better one than next Saturday night. Because 30 women are vying to get a shot at the World Championship. And I need to earn my way back to that championship the same way everybody else would. It's a new feeling that I'm still getting used to, but being Charlotte Flair can only get you so far. So, when I enter the Royal Rumble match, I'm going to earn my shot at the World Championship at WrestleMania. I'm going to eliminate 29 other women, and I'm going to become the first ever 2-time Women's Royal Rumble winner. Woo. Quick Neville video. It was Kofi. I saw your little conversation you had earlier on tonight about you feeling bad about what happened to Big E last week. You see, what happened to Big E last week was not because of you, Kofi. It was because of Big E. Now, Big E, he made the reckless decision of trying to avenge Xavier Woods. You, Kofi, you were the smart one. You knew not to get in my way. But Big E, he didn't know that. And he didn't learn that until it was too late, could he, Kof? Now you see, there are 2 ways this can go, Kofi. You and I, we can continue this the hard way, and you can end up on the shelf just like Big E and just like Xavier Woods. Or you can see the light, Kofi. You can realise that what Big E did last week was reckless. He didn't care about you, and he barely cared about Xavier Woods. And now all he's got to show for his caring heart is a broken leg. It's probably not actually broken, but you know. Semantics. So, Kofi, what's it to be? You're gonna sit around and wait for your brothers to come back? Or are you finally gonna listen and realise who the problem is around here? Then cut back. Charlotte and Ariana Grace, in the hallway. And Ariana goes, Charlie, what a win tonight. That Morgan girl, she's got a lot of potential around here, but it takes more than just having a lot of potential to be Charlotte mother. Charlotte puts her hand up and goes, no, stop. We're not on Netflix, we're on USA. Goes, anyway, you were getting me all fired up out there, Charlie. You're such an inspiration to me. And, my entire career here on SmackDown is owed to you, Charlie. I've never seen this evil side of Charlotte Flair that anybody else has seen. Charlotte's like, oh, thanks. When Ember Moon walks in, she goes, hey, big Rumble, huh? Charlotte Flair, Royal Rumble. And she goes, that's right. Now I'm going to toss out every single woman who gets in my way, Ember Moon, and that includes you. And Ember goes, I look forward to it. I didn't come back here to win the Royal Rumble to eliminate, 29 mediocre talent. I came back here to compete with the best of the best, and I've competed with those best of the best. I hang with Dakota, a woman you couldn't beat after 3 times of asking. That was all because of me. And I guess it's, you better stop disrespecting Charlie right now. And Charlie goes, she's not really disrespecting me. She says, she says she's going to win the Royal Rumble. And I goes, enough! Did you not know, Ember Moon, that Charlie is going to win the Royal Rumble? I've had enough of your disrespect. As a matter of fact, I don't even think Ember Moon should be in the Royal Rumble, Charlie. I think I should take her spot. And Charlotte's like, I mean, if she's up for it, sure. And then Ember Moon goes, you'll be a great warm-up, a great appetizer, Ariana, for the Rumble. I was getting worried I was getting a little bit rusty, need to stretch my limbs, make sure I'm fighting fit for Saturday night. You know what, I will face you next week. And, if you beat me, you can take my spot in the Rumble. How about that? And Ariana goes, that sounds great. Well, don't you come crying to Charlie or Adam Pearce or anybody else once I beat you and take your spot and you miss out on your first Royal Rumble since being back here in WWE. And Ember Moon goes, don't plan on it. And walks away. And Charlotte sort of looks at Ariana and she blankly smiles at her. She goes, I stuck up for you, Charlie. I defended your honor. Charlotte goes, I saw. 62. again, similar to the Fallon Henley versus Danny Luna match. That's actually a little bit better than I assumed based on who we have here. The Creeds with another, I say squash, basically squash win against two NXT guys, Kale Dixon and Javier Bernal. 78 for both Creeds, 48 for Javi, and 34 for Kale. So yeah, Creed brothers doing as Regal said, getting themselves back on the radar of the tag team division. And then they celebrate, but they are jumped from behind by Aussie Open, another tag team who have, fallen to the wayside a little bit here on SmackDown. They lay out the Creed brothers and, leave them laying. And then Kylan goes to Mark and he goes, "Chris, we're with you every step of the way. The time for us being walked all over ends now." And then cut backstage. We see Dakota, she's carrying her stuff out of her locker room. She's got that big ass chair that Candice gifted her. She hoisted over her shoulder, and she has to keep stopping every 10 seconds, put it down and pick it back up to carry it. It's clearly inconveniencing her. And she walks past Io and Asuka's locker room, and they walk out. In the background, we see them leave their locker room, and they sort of stop, and they see Dakota walking past, and they sort of look at her and stare at the chair and look back at her, and they go, "Hey!" And Dakota goes, "Who is that?" She turns around, it's Io and Asuka in her face. She goes, "Yes? Haven't you got a match to prepare for against Queendom Omega? You need to get revenge on Kairi?" And then Asuka sort of just stares down at the chair, stares back at Dakota, points at the chair and points at Dakota. She goes, "What? It's a chair. Candice gave it to me. It's from SummerSlam. It's a great friendship, sentimental present that she gave me. She poured her heart out thinking of it." And Io gets face and goes, "I thought we respected each other now." And Dakota goes, "We do. What's happening here? Why am I being interrogated?" And Candice walks into frame and she goes, "Are they bothering you?" She just glares at her who ask her and Io. She goes, "No, not really. They're just, they're questioning this chair you got me." And Candice's eyes widen and she goes, "Why?" "Okay, it's a gift, a great event from our career together. Okay, just because Io doesn't have any friends that care for her like this. She had one, but she's now in the hospital because Io was incompetent last week and couldn't come out and make the save." And then Io starts shouting at Candice. Candice goes, "Hey, listen here, okay? I saw what happened, you got trapped in your locker room, boo-hoo. Shit happens, okay? Now you know how we all felt all those months and years where you were attacking us backstage every single week. And, I truly hope the best for Kai. I hope she gets better, but maybe it was a lesson that you needed to have happen to you. So now maybe you'll actually humble up and stop being the big bad Io, and you'll actually take time to think about other people other than yourself for once." And to come out here and accuse Dakota of doing that because, she's got a chair and there was a chair under your door last week is baseless accusations. Dakota wasn't even in the arena last week. She wasn't even at SmackDown last week. So how could it have been her? Okay? And Candice goes "Well, as a matter of fact, you've pissed me off, okay? And you're getting your big tag team match coming up next. Io and Asuka teammate together. Great. I'm sure that goes great for you. Because, I'm winning the Royal Rumble. If I'm not, Dakota's winning the Royal Rumble. And you're sure as hell not winning the Royal Rumble. But next week, if you're here, if you don't get attacked next by Queendom Omega, which, it could happen, myself and Dakota will face you two here on SmackDown." And Io gets in Candice's face as if go face to face, nose to nose. And Io goes, "You're on," and walks away. And Dakota goes, "What the hell just happened?" And Candice goes, I got us a match next week." And Dakota goes, "I saw that, but what's this thing? What's this about a chair and Kairi?" Candice goes, "I'll tell you later." And there we have it. Next week on the go-home show for SmackDown ahead of the Royal Rumble, we actually have a full card announced for the show. SmackDown's been, going through the motions lately. I did lock in now. And so we've got a full card announced for the Go Home SmackDown next week, including a huge, massive, gargantuan, every single word you can think of for big main event. Asuka and Io Sky will team up just 24 hours before Asuka's title shot against Utami and Io's entry into the Royal Rumble match. They will face off against Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai in tag team action here on SmackDown. Plus, another huge, gigantic, massive match, literally as well this time, as Big Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre go one-on-one here on SmackDown. Both of those men will be in the Royal Rumble. One man we know won't be in the Royal Rumble is Carmelo Hayes, because Pete Dunne got involved and screwed him earlier on tonight, and because of that we'll finally get the one-on-one match, Pete Dunne and Carmelo Hayes, next week on SmackDown. And a 6-person tag team match, Andre Chase, Duke Hudson and Thea Hale of Chase University will face off against Pretty Deadly and Tonya Breeze in 6-woman tag team action. And Kofi Kingston, one-on-one with The Miz, a match straight out of 2010. They've fought numerous times for various mid-card championships over the years. And this time, Kofi's looking to, go out on his own, because Big E's out for now, and so is Xavier Woods, and he's going to face The Miz next week. And a tag team match now announced following their backstage altercation earlier on tonight. It'll be Shayna Baszler and Carmella teaming up to face Saya Kamatani and Yoko Uehara of Queendom Omega. And last, but certainly not least, a potential last-minute switch-up to the Royal Rumble, though I doubt that's actually going to happen. Ariana Grace challenges Ember Moon one-on-one. If Ariana can pick up the win here, she will take Ember's spot in the Women's Royal Rumble match. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, we did get a couple more confirmations on both sides for the big matches next weekend. On the men's side, Chris Jericho confirmed his spot in the Royal Rumble. One of the greatest Royal Rumble competitors of all time, joining his first Royal Rumble since 2017. He was in the greatest Royal Rumble, I guess. So, first actual Royal Rumble since 2017. In 8 years, Jericho back in the Royal Rumble. He's got some records for this match. Can he make more next weekend? We'll have to wait and find out. Plus, Angelo Dawkins, the Golden Prophet. He'll be a part of this year's Royal Rumble match. And on the women's side, it's 2 big names added, Dakota Kai and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte looking to become the first ever 2-time Women's Royal Rumble winner. Dakota, she's come runner-up twice before. Can she do one better than that this year? She came runner-up last year, in fact, specifically. Can she do better than that this year? We'll have to find out next weekend in what many are calling the most star-studded Women's Royal lineup ever. And there's still more names to be announced as we head towards the big event next Saturday night in Los Angeles. And 89 rated main event. Nice. Queendom Omega, represented by Saya and Yoko. No disrespect to them. The weakest Queendom lineup on paper, definitely. Because, there's 2 champions, and then Julia, who is a former women's champion and has been beating Io and Kairi every week, basically. But yes, Io and Asuka do pick up the win. Asuka pinning Yoko with a spin kick in 13:34. 87 for Io, 83 for Asuka, 59 for Saya, 86 for Yoko. And then after the match, Io and Asuka are celebrating when Io's still kind of annoyed after that altercation with Candice and Dakota backstage earlier on. And she sees Yoko and Saya down, and she grabs some sort of weapon. Kendo stick, I guess. I've sort of got defaulted to that as Io's, weapon of choice. So she grabs a kendo stick, and she starts waylaying on Yoko specifically. Saya goes to try and get in and save her. She takes a kendo stick shot, but then scurries up the ramp. And, is torn between running in to help Yoko or, not getting her ass beat. And she leans towards not getting her ass beat. So, she sort of just watches on as Yoko ends up taking endless kendo stick shots from Io and Asuka in the ring. So yeah, an eye for an eye, I guess. A soul for a soul. After what happened to Kairi last week. 84 rated show. Sure. but used Saya too much. Again, that's what happens when you have people that aren't super over in a main event stable. We'll deal with it. What matters more, that's what you thought of the show. Do let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you on the other side, hopefully for Velocity this week. Velocity kicks off with a 72. Sure, nice little match. It is Javon Evans, the number 1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship, defeating Ashante the Adonis in 13 minutes and 40. 6-10 for both men. Sure, nice. Funny story about Javon. I mean, it's not really funny, but I guess interesting. When we did the end of year awards, like at the beginning of the year, and I won like basically every single award. The only award I didn't win was Young Male Wrestler of the Year, which went to some CMLL guy. Like, I just found out that apparently there are company-specific awards that don't pop up. Like, for awards that I didn't win, I can see, like, who specifically in my company won, like, WWE Young Male Wrestler of the Year. And so I did that, because obviously I was interested. It was Javon. Javon Evans was the WWE company-specific Young Wrestler of 2024. So, yeah, there's that little tidbit. I literally think I did win every other award, because Gunter won Wrestler of the Year, Becky won Female Wrestler of the Year and Tag Team of the Year, Sharkeo won Men Tag Team of the Year, Roxy Perez won Young Women's Wrestler of the Year, Candice won Veteran Female Wrestler, I think somebody, it was AJ or somebody won Veteran Male Wrestler, yeah, so that was the only one I didn't win, but yeah, it was Javon Evans anyway. Then after the match, Cedric Alexander does come out. He goes, Javon, you see, this match between you and I, this is a whole lot different than every other match I've had since I became the Cruiserweight Champion. You're the first person I've seen in this division that actually gets me excited about the future of Cruiserweight Wrestling in this company. It's just a bunch of old guys, trying to relive their glory days. But you, Javon, you remind me a lot of a young Cedric Alexander. And next week, when we have our championship match, I want you to bring your best. I want to see if I'm right to see myself in you, Javon, because I have a similar background to you. I came through the independents too. I was never supposed to be here, but yet here I am, the Cruiserweight Champion, the Cruiserweight Classic, the greatest Cruiserweight of my generation. You could be that for your generation too, Javon. That's why I want to help you step up. So next week, step up. And then Javon's like, Cedric, I low-key respect you, but I don't need to step up. I'm already on my A game. And next week, you're looking at the next Cruiserweight Champion. And he does a big dive to the outside, like a huge dive to the outside, wipes Cedric Alexander out. The sort of dive you'd see go viral on Twitter. Yeah, he wipes out Cedric. And yeah, Javon and Cedric, it's next week. This was supposed to be a bit of a longer feud, but we didn't do a Velocity last week, so yeah. Then next week is the title match. 71 rated match. Just a nice win for Roderick Strong against El Elemental. He wins with the Stronghold in 11:53. 70 for Roddy, 54 for El Elemental. Then after the match, he comes backstage. Bobby Fish is there, and he goes, Roddy, great win tonight. And he goes, thanks, Bobby. He goes, listen, Roddy, I got myself into a bit of trouble over on ECW. And I have to go to ECW next week, and I'm facing off against Dolph Ziggler. Or he goes, what do you mean you're facing off against Dolph Ziggler? He goes, listen, I know you think I'm being stupid here, but I genuinely think something's happening. I need you to come with, Roddy. I need you by my side on Tuesday. I've just got this feeling deep in my gills. Get it? 'Cause I'm a fish. I've got this feeling that it's going to be a big night. Roddy goes, fine, Bobby. I'll see if I can come to ECW on Tuesday. He goes, yes, I'll see you there. And a 78 rated main event. Apparently, Gabe Kidd bulked up since I started this feud. So he can't be the Cruiserweight Trios Champions because he's too heavy for them. So this can't even be a Trios Championship match because Gabe Kidd is now too bulky. I can't cheat like they did with Buddy Murphy in real life, apparently. But yes, LA Extreme, I guess, do retain. Any chance I would have had, like, I debated putting the belts on the War Dogs, but I have another team in mind that I want to come for the Trio Championship soon, and, like, it can't just be me recycling LA Extreme and the War Dogs and the Dragon's Dojo over and over again. I need to find a new team to get in here, and I do have a plan for who that will be, so it's fine. But yes, LA Extreme, they do retain the championships, but just not in the game, because apparently Gabe Kidd is now a big boy. 85 for Roosh, 73 for Santos, 75 for Jorge, 54 for Dan Maloney, 64 for Gabe Kidd, 70 for Clark Connors. And yeah, that ends Velocity. Gets a 74. We actually survived an episode of SmackDown without my computer fucking up in any way. So yeah, hopefully that's a thing of the past now. And yeah, what matters more, that's what you thought of the show. Do leave in the comments below. I'll see you next time for Raw, the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. See you then.